Okay. Hi everybody, it's Armin and Seth and Austin. Today we are doing a teardown of this car. So you may remember I've posted a video of Mr. Santiago's car. This is actually his next car because the last one got totaled. Engine was perfectly good, so we're going to be swapping it into this. The previous owner of this built the motor years ago and it had some sort of catastrophic failure. So this video is actually just for educational purposes. I want to see what failed. Because we have no reason to actually do anything for the new motor that's going in, because it's the same old motor out of the old car. Is perfectly fine. So first things first, right over to Seth. So it had a magnetic drain plug. Hey, the light's a little too much. There it is. Magnetic drain plug picked up what looks to be like some piston rings, maybe it's some piston skirt, and then anyone want to identify what that is? That's got me concerned. Yeah. So we're gonna get this thing out and then we'll do a tear down and see what happens. The engine out of the car. Looks like he chose the L3AW front cover. This is the one you do not need to clearance cut because it already comes with this aggressive shape here. It looks like we had an oil leak, pretty significant, I would say, right here. And it looks like it's been tracing it up here. Look at that. I was describing this to someone the other day. The belt itself is inside of the clean line because the belt, since it's vibrating, I guess, it throws the oil up and down from there. It's kind of interesting. It also looks like there was a slight bit of contact here, but I'd be curious why that happened, because there's really nothing to misalign here. This can only go on one way, this can go on one way. The power steering pump kind of only goes on one way too. So a little bit of contact here is curious. This is an OEM crank pulley. Magnetic drain plug. I don't see any evidence inside of the exhaust ports. I did remember that when I went and picked this car up from the guy, that he mentioned there was a spark plug decapitated, I think it was. So we'll be taking a look at all that stuff. Interesting choice here. This is the 2-liter water pump pulley, not the 2.0, not the 2.5, because if you remember from my other videos, the 2.5 has holes in it for lightweightness. So we won't be transferring any of these parts to an engine. These will just be extra parts sitting on shelf now because, once again, the engine going back into the car, it's good to go. It's just good to go. So I don't need to transfer anything. We took it out of the other car and we're just throwing it in that car. But let's go ahead and just start disassembling. I'm just gonna rapid fire take everything apart. We're just gonna start throwing parts away, and when I find something, then we'll take a look at it. Alright, just sort of a nitpick. This is the nut that you use on the power post for the starter and or alternator, and it looks like they got mixed up because the wrong nut is on the starter, and then this nut was holding on the bracket that goes to the starter. Not the first time I've seen that. Okay, so the ground bracket that goes to the back of the head is missing this bolt right here. That's whatever. Map sensor wire looks like this was retaped. The throttle body connector was taped on, and it looks like the coolant temperature sensor is also taped on. There we go. Oh, great. I got the connector off, but it's still tethered by the electrical tape. What the heck is this? There we go. Oh, I wonder why that was taped. It's not like these fall off. Oh, the connector's broken. That'll do it. All right, big nitpick. I don't know if this valve cover gasket was replaced, but it was just covered in RTV all over the damn place. It's a good thing I'm not reusing this motor, but there's RTV just everywhere. I mean, obviously, it should have just been a new valve cover gasket. This one's hard, so this thing's probably been leaking oil. The valve cover itself is fine though. The VVT gasket, another nitpick, it's just it's too far recessed. Cylinder 1 looks normal. Cylinder 2's got some shit on it. These are Autolite XPs. Yeah, that'll do it. That right there. And they are kind of dirty, but that's whatever. I know which cams these are. These are the old Fab 9 cams that were welded together and ruined one of my engines a while back. These are the welded lobe cams. You can tell because there's welds on the lobe. Oh shit, one of the lobes is missing a chunk. Look at that. There's a chunk missing out of this lobe, and that one.
This one too.
So these cams are actually forfeit. I can't even reuse these. I would never reuse these. Yeah, let's bring it over here. Maybe you can see a little better. But like, there's a chunk missing there, and there's clearly a bump there. So this engine could have been lost by losing a. Oh my God, we found it! The lobe is gone. This is how I lost one of my engines. I put in these damn Fab 9 cams because they were supposed to be the new hot shit, and then the engine lost a lobe, and I was blamed for improper assembly. So fuck you, Fab 9. Here's another example of your shitty work. These should have been recalled off of market. So all of these are showing failure signs, but this one actually failed. So I guess that's kind of it as far as the teardown analysis. I mean, dude, this thing's probably full of metal. Now that keeper that we found in the oil pan, I'm willing to bet the guy who assembled it, he probably dropped one down in there into the oil pan. It looked undamaged. I can't attribute that to failure. Hey, I've dropped a couple in oil pans too. But I also make it a point to make sure to get them back out. I don't want to risk it being down there. But all of the buckets are still in place, which indicates to me there is no freaking way that a keeper fell down in there. Either way, I'm also going to verify timing now, but this is on the same cylinder that this happened. And I don't think that's coincidence. Let's dig deeper. Do you want to know why you don't use welded on cam lobes? It's starting to fail right there at the weld joint. It's definitely failed there at that weld joint. That's starting to fail. This one's starting to fail. This one not yet. But then we come over here and look. Those lobes are different heights, aren't they? Look at that. These are okay. These are still surviving. There's a little bit of chipping at the corner. Not good.
You are almost identical at TDC.
Okay, so the cams are pointing inward at the front. We're almost at TDC. It looks like the cams were a little bit off of timing, but yeah, it's whatever. Because like this one's a little bit farther away from TDC than this one is. They should be the same amount, but we are at TDC. So I can't blame timing jumping on this for the failure. At least not until I scope down there and see if there is a problem in the cylinder. you know, like I'm looking for contact on the piston, of course. I'm gonna go ahead and just remove the intake manifold, get a bunch of this other stuff out of the way, and then we'll dig into that a little further. Okay, so looking down in cylinder 3, the first valve is still there, the second valve is gone. Now I'm curious to see if we have damage to the other cylinders. This one's cracked open, but only because obviously the lobes are about to open it. These two, I don't see any light through them. These lobes are definitely away from the direction they should be. Even though the cams failed, I'm genuinely curious how this correlation is between the cylinder failing, I mean the valve being eaten and that happening. So we also have chunks of stuff on the VVT solenoid, which indicates it was, well, circulating chunks of shit. Alright, so as you see, cam lobes of 1 are good, cam lobes of 2 are good, cam lobes of 3 are not fucking good. Cam lobes of 4 are okay. I don't see any premature wear on the exhaust lobes, aside from that one, obviously. Obviously, that cam's scrap. Let's pull the intake one. So what I was mentioning earlier is right here. You can see the welds are starting to erode away here and here. Look at all that. Oh, look, there's porosity. There's a hole right there. That's extra not good. This also happens to be cylinder 3 for what that's worth. I would be curious if a chunk of something got wedged under the cam bucket. So the cam bucket is actually stuck down. Let's see if I can pull it out. Yeah. The keeper is the one from up here. So cylinder 3, this is definitely the problem. This is definitely where that keeper came from. So I'm looking at this, the spring looks like it was smashed. And the only way I can think of that happening is if something got stuck between the cam and the bucket. Because let me get a photo of this. This looks crazy. The spring is broken for obvious reasons. But yeah, this seems like an overcompression problem. I've never heard of valve springs breaking on these. I'm not seeing any piston to valve contact. This all looks, see how it's all dirty over there and it's all dirty over here? It would be a very sharp shaped clean spot if it had failed the other way. And then there you can see the piston's missing a lot of piston. And there's the valve.